Hi everyone, Sandy here. Welcome to my channel. This is the tutorial video for this album that I created for Country Craft Creations using 49 in Markets. Foundation Essential Binder. This is the coral one for the Toddler Time and the Toddler Time 12 by 12 paper collection. I will show you in this video how I put it all together, so stay tuned. To get started on this album, this 49 in Market Toddler Time Foundations Essential Binder, I have all my design team package products laying out here that I received from Country Craft Creations. I have my ribbon that I got in twine, the buttons, and all the ephemera pieces that I got that I've already opened up and put in here. And I have my the bigger ones here. If you want to see these a little bit more detail, I have it in my haul video, which I'll try to remember to link below. And this is the laser cuts here. So I have all of this. And then I've added to it, of course, the art glitter glue that I put in my little bottle. This is the refill that you can get from Country Craft Creations. So I'll use that. I'll also probably use some score tape. So I have that out, pull that out handy. This is the binder. It's a holds 6 by 8 pages. It measures 8 3/4 by 9, 2.5 inch spine. So this is the album I'll be working in. You can pick that up at Country Craft Creations. And then, of course, the collection, which is the 49 in Market Toddler Time. And I have all the single sheets here. I have 2 of each design. And then I have some of the solids that go with that. And I do have some white. I think it's 60-pound artisan cardstock for matting or making different pages. So we're going to get started on this. Pull out your tools. You might need your scoreboard, of course, your trimmer, scissors, ruler, pencil, bone folder, all that good stuff, all the basic tools, and we'll get started on this album. We're going to work on the front cover first because I want to make sure I use the elements I want on the front before I do the insides. We're going to be taking the pages out of the book, and so we can go ahead and do the cover right now. So I have pulled out some different elements. What I did is I cut off from the sheet, let's see, I think it says Toddler Time Playtime, which is this blue one here. So I just cut this down to 12. I cut the branding strip off. And then I cut it down to 9 inches, or just under 9 inches, because I wanted this little bit of green lace looking. I want it to look just, and have a little divider there. I mean, I think the cover's pretty, the print's pretty, but I wanted a little bit extra there on the side. So I cut that. So I'm just going to take my art glitter glue, and we're going to glue that to the left side. Of course, you can decorate yours however you want. Don't have to do exactly what I'm doing. So I'm matching this up. I'm not putting it up right to the edge because I don't want it to get torn or bent when the album cover is opening back and forth. So I just put it right there. Let me get my bone folder. Make sure it is flush at the top and burnish it down. So that gives it that little bit of color there. Okay, so from the laser cuts, I punched out this one. As you all know, I'm a cat person, so I love these little cats. So I have this little envelope with the frame. Now I'm not putting a picture or anything in the frame. And I think I'm going to glue that probably about right in there on top of that lace there, kind of. So I wanted something in there. So I took this from the ephemera, I believe. It's kind of a light green, the music on it, it's already on there. I tied some of that blue jute twine in there, and then I added one of the buttons and threaded some of the jute into that. So did it that way. Now, I want to share, I probably will be inking. So from Country Craft Creations, I did purchase on my own some of the new Catherine Pooler inks. And what I bought 4. They stack up together so nicely. I've never used this ink before, but Tamara says she really loves it. So we have spiced. I bought spiced, over coffee, cargo, and blackjack. So I need to decide which one I want to use. I need to take a piece of paper here. Grab something. I don't know if this will be true to what we're doing. This is the piece of the cardboard that was in the album. So I'm going to look at spiced, see how that looks. Supposedly these have a lot, oh they're real inky. So let me get one of my ink brushes here I like to use, because I don't think I want it really, really dark. So hold on just a second here. So this is the spiced. Yeah, you don't have to put much on there. Very vibrant. Spiced over coffee. So just test out your inks. See which one you might like to, okay, that's more of a brown. So don't think over coffee's it. Cargo. Now I won't be inking everything, of course, but cargo is kind of a really dark like that. I'm thinking I'm going to go with my spiced to ink some of my things, my papers. Got ink on me. Clean this off. Clean the darker ones off, because it really does stay on that brush quite a bit. Okay, so I think I'm going to ink just a little bit on this tag, maybe. Underneath here. Okay, don't want any on my, see, this is all one piece. Very lightly on the envelope edge. Okay. Excuse me. So now I'm ready to glue this down. I'm going to feed this through. Now, I didn't like this green. I don't know why it's there poking out at the top. So I want this kind of like fitting in here. So first I'm going to put some glue on this green stem that's sticking out and along this edge of the frame. I'm going to stick my tag in there and let it attach to that. So now we have that like this, and we can glue this piece down. I'm going to keep everything pretty flat. I'm not going to use any foam tape or anything that lifts up, because I want to keep it kind of flat so that when it opens back, everything is, you know, laying flat down. So I didn't want a lot of thick dimension, but I do want these different items added to the cover. Just kind of personalize it. So you would add whatever you think makes it for you. So I'm going to put it about right here. Press it down. So I put glue on all the whole back and the ends of the flowers. Make sure they are getting pressed on. That one I pressed too hard, but that's okay. I can put it back on. Be careful with these laser cuts, because they're very delicate. So press that in. Got my cats and their tails. Okay, so that's cute. So you could just do that. Then I decided I wanted to use some sayings. Now I wanted to say have memories on it, and I couldn't find the word in the items that I had in my collection. So what I did, this is kind of, I just did it off camera to see how it looked. So I took my, I've had this one forever, caption maker, the Dymo label maker. I use it off and on. It's an old tool that I've had for scrapbooking. And so I did the word memories. Now this, you could do this on your typewriter, your computer if you don't have it. And then I took a longer label out of the embellishments. And I cut it on one end, so I put it down like that, and I cut one end, I made it short, and I pieced it on the back because I didn't want a big piece of white there. And then I've got the word sweetest out of the ephemera. So I'm going to put that probably about right there. So let's get the glue on it. Make sure I'm staying in my camera frame. Put the glue on the whole piece. You want to make sure it sticks down good. Sweetest. Okay. Press it down good. Get it stuck on. Sweetest memories goes next. Oops, make sure it's not upside down. Right in there. So I chose the blue label for the two to kind of match in with this. Make sure it sticks in its own straight. Then I have this little Stay Forever Young. Now I don't know if I can get a little bit of ink on it, maybe. Very lightly. Stay Forever Young. I'm going to put that on the bottom side also. Right in here. Wipe off any glue that you might get because I was moving it around a little bit. And then I have a couple of the butterflies. So I like this kind of yellow gold one here. I want to put this on the tag. These are from the laser cuts, so do that. Maybe I want him this way. Okay, I want him to go in a different direction than this one. And then I have a green one, and I thought I would put him up there. And, except for maybe some more buttons, I'm going to decide on that. The cover, because it's already got the pattern paper on it, is really done. So there's that. So, yeah, I like that a lot. Let me hold it up so you can look at it. And then if I want any buttons or not, let's see. I want some of this. Got that one there, 1, 2. That was too similar to that one. One, 2, and a littler one. 3. So do we want buttons on it or not? I like those there. Now, I do think I want some string in them. I like my buttons to kind of finished. So I'm going to do that off camera. I'm just going to feed some string in here so then I can glue it on the back. But since it takes a little bit to do that, I'm going to pause right here and I'll do the string real quick. Okay, so I got this twine into the buttons, so I glued 3 here, the big one, the middle, and a little one. And then I decided to go ahead and put 1 each on the end of this paper ribbon strip or lace strip. So that's the cover of the album. I like it. I think it is done. I love the colors. They got the little cats, the sweetest memories, or just sweetest memories, and then Stay Forever Young. So I like that. Like I said, I took the pages out so that we can work on them outside of the album. So this can be set aside so it doesn't get messed up. So for the first page, I cut 1 sheet out of Storybook design, and I'm cut it to 6 by 8 to fit on the page. And so this is going to be the front page, or the first page of my album. So I just put glue on it, and I did ink my page before I put the glue on. So I'm just going to attach it down right here, kind of to the right side of the holes. Now you notice that I did add some of these stickers for the hole protectors. I love that it says little cat. We got the baby here, The Charmer by Alice H. Whitson. A grasshopper sat on a leaf one day, restrung his violin, and started to play. Super cute. Not going to be able to see the whole thing once I get it done because I want to put this on here. So I have the 3 little lambs, the flowers, and if I scooch them around like this, I can get them on the page, still see the baby, and have some flowers over it. So I'm going to make sure I get the glue on good on all the little points and edges here. Okay, and put it down right like this. So the flowers are on the page, the story is there. Push all this edges down good. Then I found the orange flowers, and I think I like it tucked in like that. So we got to put the glue on these, tuck it in behind there, and then make sure it's, you can still see the yellow one and the blue back there behind it. There we go. And then I have these saying things, and I need to ink these guys. So I have this little orange label. I'm not going to be able to see the whole thing, but that's okay. And this one says in green, the sweetest days. So I'm going to put this down here. So it's a little bit of layering going on, not too thick. Right about there. And then this will go on top, just so you can see a bit of the orange on the top and the bottom. Okay, just like that. I think that's cute like that. Maybe some of the buttons. Let's see what we got. This is a really big one. I don't know where we're going to use that, but that's kind of pretty. One, two, three. Is that big one too big in there? Kind of like it there. I'm going to go with it. First impressions. Now, I really could put twine in that one because it's so big. And maybe tie a bow on it. Let's see here. I'm going to put a dollop of glue here for the button. Pretty good amount. And plop it there. I'll have one down here. These won't have strings in them. One here and one up there. Like that. Okay, so that's that. We're going to have to let that dry before I go to the next one. But I like how that looks. We got little cat, and we got that. Then I'll flip it over and I'll put photo mats on the back side, you know, with some paper. While the button embellishments are still drying, they're almost dry, I think, I went ahead and started planning this page. So for the back side, of course, this is 6 by 8, and this is from the solids. Did I not pay attention? Number 2 solid. Ink the edges, and then I cut a mat here that is 5 1/4 by 3 1/4, and that's going to go right here at the top. So I'm going to go ahead and glue that on. Ink the edges of the mat as well. So this is going to go right up in here at the top, kind of center it side to side and down about 1/8 of an inch or so from the top. Okay, that's for the photo. Then I had this little strip of that plaid, a scrap of this left, so I inked that. It's 6 inches wide and only about 3/8 of an inch 3/8 of an inch tall. So I'm just gonna, this is just decorative. I'm gonna lay it across here, glue it on. And then this was also left, so it's the back side. I cut this down where it says little dog, inked all the way around that. This piece is about 3 3/8 by wide by 3 5/8 tall. It's just the scrap. So it's going to go here. Now this corner here, we're going to make sure we don't glue it, because I want the picture to be able to tuck in behind it. So I'm just putting my glue at an angle right there. See where my fingers are? I left that as an angle, and the rest of it I will glue down. And I'm going to turn it and glue it where that corner, maybe this right here, I'll wipe off a little bit. There we go. It's not stuck down. Now I wanted some corner treatments on it, so I cut 2 1x1 squares out of this plaid, and then you place it on your trimmer. Let's see if I can move it up here where you can see. Point to point. Hold that down and just cut so that I have triangles. So I have 4 triangles, and of course I want to ink them. And these are going to be fake faux photo corners on this little piece here. So this is going to glue right down to the top, on top of this, so it won't attach down onto the picture. I mean, you know, the photo mat. It's just on this decorative piece here like that. I'm going to glue 1 to each corner. And then these are from the laser cuts, these little airplanes. So the big blue one here is going to go down at the bottom. Because I think this page maybe is more for boys. So we're going to do that. And the little yellow one is going to go above it. So that is that page. So now this is ready to glue down on the back. So we're just going to carefully flip this over. And we're just going to glue that on right there. Finish it down, and now we have finished our first page set. So we have page 1, the first page and the second page done, ready for the book. For our next page set, page 3 and 4, we're going to use a full plastic sleeve. So I cut this down to 6 by 8. This is the white artisan cardstock that came in my design team package. And then I cut this one from the number, I already forgot, number 2 solids, which is the orange. And I cut it down just a little bit. It is 5 7/8 by 7 7/8. And that's going to glue down right there. So I'm going to go ahead and put that on. So this is the front side. I just wanted it matted with the white on the back here. So now we put this on like this. Okay, and burnish that down. Okay, so then I want a photo mat, and I wanted a little contrast here. So this is the beanstalk, the back side, the green. So I cut a piece down to 5.5 by 4 1/4. Inked all the edges, and then I cut a white mat of the white cardstock that is 5 1/8 by 3 7/8. and punched my corners out and inked it. So this is going to go right here. So glue on the corners as we've done in the past, or already done. So glue on the corners so that we can still get our photos in, and just a little bit of glue along each edge, and then I do a little bit in the bottom. So just get this on, kind of center it if we can. Burnish that down. Now this is going to go up here at the top, straight on. So I'll put glue on the back. And attach it down. So put it up here, about the same on the top as I am from side to side. Let's see if we got it kind of straight though. How does that look? Okay. Burnish that down. So that's for my photo that I'm going to use. Then I'm taking this little piece from the laser cuts. And what I did is I cut that little frame right there. I want that to be attached down, and the rest of it be a little bit loose. So let's see how this goes here on the bottom. Don't want it to angle, no. So let's touch this down. So I'm going to touch down the I'm going to attach down the frame part here and my leaves. All along the bottom. Lots of little detail in here in the greenery. This leaf here. Right along this edge. You see? No. Take that off. Take that off right now. And I'm going to leave this. I'm going to put one edge of the flower. I'm going to leave this other undone. So now I'm going to put this down here where it fits. And this loose here. Because I want this where I can get a tag in there. Like under here. See, like that. So that flower's loose. That's no glue in under that pocket. But the frame is glued down. So okay, we got it like that. Get everything pressed in. And then we're going to make our tag. But I think first I'm going to put this adorable down here on the bottom. I did ink this also. Excuse me, I seem to be losing my voice. Okay, ink this part as well to make it kind of go with everything. And then this is going to go about right there. Okay. And then the tag, this was a scrap 2 inches wide of the yellow color, 2 inches wide by, lost my ruler here. Oh, there it is, right in front of me. 3.5. And then I used my punch that I have. You can use any punch or just cut your tag, but this is a 2 inch wide tag punch that I have. And then I rounded the corners with this and inked it. So this is a tag, and then I cut a piece of this paper scrap to fit and inked it. So I'm going to glue this on like this. Oops, make sure it's centered on there like that. Then I have the flower, what to put on there. So this tag will be removable even though it's within that plastic sleeve. So like if you wanted to just, you know, glue it down, you could. Like that. I was thinking. that maybe. I'm going to glue that in there under the flower where it's kind of poking out. And then this family time. Let me see how this fits in here. Okay, so I'm going to stick that under there. And I did ink this little piece. This is from the ephemera. So it's going to go like that. So we got that. And I don't think I'm going to add any ribbon. I'm just going to leave it like that. So that's going to slide down in that sleeve. Of course, it'll be in there like that. Photo up there. And so, like I said, you know, you can glue this tag in if you wanted to. So now I'm going to plan the back side of that next. Okay, so for the back side of this one, make sure we've flipped it this way. The first thing I want to do is I want to add, this is going to go inside the plastic sleeve, but I want to add a flip that flips to the up. So I'm going to show you how to do that. What I've done is I made a hinge out of one of the branding strips here. So I cut it 1 inch wide so that part of it is the green lace and part of it is the starburst. Now this paper does tend to want to crack quite a bit here. So I don't think it's going to tear, but I'm going to ink it where the cracking is. Now then, I cut this piece out at 6 inches by 8. And I used the other sheet of this one, which is the stars, and this one right here. I can't think of the name of it right quick. I don't have the branding strip here with me. but I'm going to put this on the front here, and it's going to be on the outside of that. So I want this, let's see here, make sure I'm getting it right. I want this piece here, the green, to go on the bottom of this blue, because this is going to be showing on the inside. So I'm going to take my glue, and on this piece here, you want to make sure your branding strip, you know, where the barcode is going to be glued down. So I let my glue sit for a bit. Let me see if I can get it going real quick. So I'm going to have a pin. Grab that. Handy dandy pin to when I go off and leave my glue sitting open. Okay. That should do the trick. There we go. So glue on this 1/2 inch, the underside, and make sure it's going on the back side of the top of this piece. So I'll show you real quick. I'm just going to fold it in half, make sure it's fitting. So this was 1 inch wide by 6 inches, scored in half, the 1/2 inch on the shortest side. So that's what it looks like that. So this is going to be down. Now, once you get it on there, I'm going to ink. Okay, some of it is sticking over just a little bit off. And then right here, I see that I have some sticking over. So I'm just going to snip that off real quick with my scissors because I want it even. So I might have cut it just a little bit wide. Now this is going to go to the top of this back page. So make sure again, because this doesn't have any holes, that this is the correct way. You don't want anything going on upside down. So glue on this 1/2 inch again, this part of the hinge, and the top edge, line it up right along that top edge right there. Open it up. It should fit pretty good. Let's see here. So this piece here may have been a little bigger. See if I can move it, scoot it over a little bit, center it I've got a little bit of white showing on each side. I thought that was 6 inches, but let me re-glue. So I moved it and I have to put more glue on. Okay. Like here. And just a tiny bit of white on each side. Okay. All right. I think that'll work. Burnish that. That's the hinge there. Now then, on the inside here, get all my thoughts together. I had a blue, and I did ink it. It doesn't show up very well. I think I inked it. I'm going to ink again just to make sure. A blue photo mat here. One of my scraps of the blue. And this one is 4 3/4 wide by 4 inches tall. And I think that's going to go right there. Yeah. And then I had a scrap of the Starburst this, here. This one is 2.5 by 2.5. I inked it and I did put the photo mat corners just like I did that one there. So let's put this one down first. So we put the glue on the corners. I'm going to center this one right about here. Make sure it is straight before I touch it down. There we go. And then this one is going to kind of match up here. So glue the corners. This one's going to go right here. This, I took the card, one of the journaling ephemera cards, and I cut it in half and then cut it down to fit. So this one here, I inked it, so it's about the 2.5 tall by about 2 wide. So this is just like a journaling spot here. It's going to go right here, like that. Now I did want to put a labeling tab, which I inked, and I'm going to put it about right here. And then I wondered if I had anything that I could do a narrow strip of something here, but I haven't found anything I wanted yet. So I'm going to leave this way and find my sleeve. Or do we want to finish this one first? Let's go ahead and do this. Oh, I was going to put a saying in here. In your imagination, like right there. So that was what I was going to put in the middle. In your imagination. Okay, then we drop this down. So now we're going to go ahead and do this side. So I've cut this piece with this little girl's image here. And I'm going to put this photo mat here. So the blue mat for this is 4 3/4 by 3 3/4, and then the white mat is 3.5 by 4.5. So I'm going to glue it at an angle like this. So I'll put that on there. So I've already attached the photo mat piece to this matting. I'm going to go like this, right under the butterfly. And then I cut out this piece from that other piece that I cut apart, is 2.5 wide by 2 3/4 tall. And that's going to go right, did I want to angle it like that? Like this. Like this. I want the corner dropping down. And I inked it Getting so much trash on my table again. So, like that. Okay. Then we have this tabby here. Okay. And you are my heart or my whole world. But you are my heart. Okay. Now then, I need to decide on the inside here if I want to put photo mats or leave it that way. Got this scrap here. So I'm probably going to put a few photo mats. So I'll go ahead and do those, and then I'll show you what I've done. Be right back in a bit. Okay, so I cut 2 mats, 3.5 wide by 3 1/4 tall. Put them there, and then add the 2 little airplanes from the lasers. And then down here at the bottom, decided to add the little boy on the scooter. So that finishes that off. And now where's the plastic sleeve? Okay. So I want the holes to the left. So I want this one in the front. So this goes in like this. Hopefully everything's, I cut it correctly. I mean, I had it in there once, so should be. Okay, there it is. Just had to be real careful sliding in some of these bits here. Of course, I'll have to take it out when I do my photo. Okay, I need to pull it up some though, because my fold, there we go, where it's, you want your fold at the top of that plastic sleeve. There we go. Okay, so you'll have some clearance down here at the bottom. It's a little bit of it out, but I like how that looks. So off camera, I went ahead and did the second plastic sleeve. Now this is for the 3x4s. So I took 4 different 3x4 cards, and on the back sides where it's solid, I did the 2.5 by 3.5 photo mats with the corners punched, inked everything, and then inserted the cards. So this is a card print, this is the card print, and this side and this side. And then I used my tape runner, Easy Runner Grand from Country Craft Creations, and my art glitter glue, and I glued on these little laser cuts. So this is the little lambs here, and then I glued the flowers right here on top. So you have this element on top of where the photos go. And then on the back side here, I glued this little boy on his scooter where it says play is the best way to learn. And then down here, because I love cats, because I've nothing wrong with dogs, I just don't have any dogs, but I'll put the cats here in case I wanted some pictures of some cats. And I do see I need to attach the little tail a little better. We don't want it torn off or anything, so I'm just using my glue. Next we'll work on page 7 and 8. I decided to go with this print. This one is cut off of that sheet that says where I cut the border off, Toddler Time Playtime. It's this one, but the back side. So for these pages, first thing I'm going to do is I put these reinforcements on here. Now, they are stickers, but I am gluing them because I want to make sure they do not come off. And hopefully I have enough for every page. So I'm going to put one on each side, around each hole. And I'm going to put just a little bit of glue on these to secure them. And so what you do, you put the flat edge towards the edge of the page and then slide it so that it fits over the hole like that to reinforce it. Just try to make sure it's straight. Do the other one. So I did that on the front side already, so I'm doing the back. Figure I might as well go ahead and do that now. so don't forget. And then on the front side, this piece here, you cut it to 6 by 8. If you're using the 12 by 12. Now, if you have the 6 by 8 paper pad, then you already have one cut that size. So this is 6 by 8, and that's going to go right there. And I did ink the edges with the spiced. So I'm going to go ahead and glue this on to my page. And then we're going to build up and decorate it. Now, I don't know if I'll show you in detail decorating each one. I'll show you putting the matting of the paper on. It just depends on how long this takes with our video. So I'm trying to put about a 1/16 of an inch or so, 1/8 of an inch. It's less on the outer side because of the enforcement holes. There we go. I need to see what I'm doing here. I want this one to come over a little bit more this way. Whoop. Like right there, up against that enforcement. And that should give me enough border there. Right there. Well, I'm too far down. There we go. Move it up a little bit. Okay, now let's burnish it down all the way around. And like I said, I did ink this, and I did even put a little bit of ink like on some of my stars out here to kind of give it a vintage look. And then I'm also wondering if I want to ink my white pages to give it that vintage look. I'm not adding more ink. I've got plenty of ink on this brush. I don't want it real heavy, but just enough ink to kind of bring all that in. So it's not a stark white, but it's, you know, got that vintage look to it. So there's that. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to put down is this piece here, this photo mat piece. And this one I cut, find my ruler, to, I think it's 3 3/4 tall. Yep, 3 3/4 tall by 4 3/4 wide, this mat. So I am going to ink it with the background color. And this is another piece of this that I had left over. And like I said, I'm going to glue it kind of at an angle like that. So I'm going to go ahead and glue that down. And then I took the white, the 60-pound white, and I cut out a mat that is 3 1/2 by 4 1/2. And then I want to use the punch I have for the corner photo corners. Hang on just a second. Yeah, this one from Country Craft Creations. This is where I got this one. If it's still available, I'll link it down below. It's a great tool to have. So I am punching the corners so that the photo that goes here, whatever you decide, all you have to do is just slip it in, you know, cut it to fit and slip it in. So it's going to go right here. Now I like to put a little glue on the edges. Right like that. I put just a little bit in the corners. I want the photo to be able to slide in there, and you can put a little bit here in the middle. Okay, so line this up just like that. So there's your place for your photo. Then I wanted this piece here, kind of like for journaling. I'm going to ink this one also. And I'm going to angle it this way. Now, I'm not going to put glue this top edge because I want to be able to get a photo down in there and into that corner. So I'm just going to go, about 3/4 down from the top edge, and then glue that section, but not the top edge. I'm going to leave that free, and that's going to angle like this. Okay. Okay, so now we still have that open for that. I like this yellow tabby here. I'm going to ink it some. You could use a pen and write a date in if you wanted to. I thought that would look kind of cute. Attached up there at the top. Do it like that. And then from my laser cuts, I punched out this flower. And I'm going to bring it down into here on this. So I'm going to glue it on and make sure everything's punched out. Flip it over and get your glue on your flowers, the leaves. It's real delicate, so I like using this smaller glue applicator for things like this. It makes it just a little bit easier, I think, instead of the big tips that might be on your glue bottle. But anyway, you could still be very careful with that. And then I'm just going to lay it in here onto this piece, kind of let it hang off down the bottom, press all that in. And then I punched out of the laser cuts these children running. I like those like that. So I'm going to kind of arrange them in there with that flower. This is such a fun collection. I'm already thinking about what kind of pictures I might want to put in there. See what I could print up. Some of my vintage family photos. Turn her like that, him like that. So it takes away some of your journaling area, but I like the decorating. So you can still write some names in here. This says Chase Your Dreams. I'm going to ink this just a little bit. Now I'm going to try to keep all of this pretty flat, simply because I want to be able to get as many pages in here as I can without making it real thick, because even though these are a ring binder album, if you get them too thick, they will, you know, have that buckle. Now if I need to, I will use ribbon, punch a eyelet hole for the ribbon, whoops, for the cover, but I'm not going to do that till later. So I'm going to bring this one down kind of across like that, wipe off some of that glue. Chase Your Dreams. And then I have the dog here. And I think I want him, let's see here, kind of like that. So he's a laser cut too, so I'm going to put him down here at the bottom. Okay, like right here. Like he's sniffling around with that star is. So that's kind of cute like that. I'm going to look and see if I want to add some other stuff up in here. I don't know. Let me see what else we have. I'll take a quick peek, and if not, this side will be done and we'll move on to the other side. Okay, so I decided to leave it just the way I had it. So we can do some journaling here, a date up here if we want to. Got room for a photo there. So then I flip it over, make sure everything stays in the correct orientation. Flip it over this way. And of course I do think I want to ink the page a little bit. So I still have some of that ink on there. I don't want a whole lot. I don't want it real dark, but just enough to, you know, show a little of that vintagey color there. Just bring a little more here. So I'll do that before I add my paper. Now, I'm still working with that same 12 by 12 that I originally cut down, that I cut the border strip for the lacy on the cover, and then I had this one full sheet, this one. So it's 6 by 8. Now, it did cut off some of this on the bottom, and that's fine. You're going to have to do that too on some of your pages to fit them into this, some of your designs, but I think enough of it is still showing that it's okay. So I'm just inking the edges of this 6x8 piece. And that's going to glue down right on here. Finish that up. This is our photo mat that I'm going to add from that 60-pound white. So this one I cut 3 1/8 by 4 1/8, and I'm just going to ink a little bit here. Okay, and then we're going to punch it with the corner punch. You could round these if you wanted to, you know, just however you want to do your photo mats. Maybe you've got a lacy decorative corner you want to do, but I really like using this photo corner punch. So let's go ahead and glue this one down. And I think next I'm going to do maybe one of those pocket pages. Of course, you can put these in any order you want to in your book. It does not have to be done the same as mine. Okay, burnish that down. Okay, once we have that, then we can put a little photo here, and I'm going to kind of angle it so that's over just a little bit of the butterfly. So remember, again, a little bit in the top very corner. You don't want to glue up to those punched lines at all. Here on the sides some to secure it, and then I do a little bit in the middle. And so this is going to kind of go here, just like that. For a photo. So I didn't add a double mat on that one. I think if we want anything else maybe on here. I think I'll wait on that one for somewhere else. Got a little tag here that's kind of cute. Punch that out. I think put a little ink on it. So you could use this for labeling your photo if you wanted to. So let's put some ribbon or twine on it. Which do I think I want? Ribbon or twine? Right there. Make sure that I'm not attaching the left side down. I'm not going to put glue on that left side. Leave a little room there so the photo can tuck up underneath it. And I'm just going to put it right there on the page, like that. And if we have any saying, we might want to put in here, my whole world. What have we got? In your imagination. Yep. Don't like that. I'm in a different color. Little cat. That's cute. What I'm looking for is something to cover up over, like, where it says thank you. I just think that for my photos, that seems a little strange. Love you so much. I like that the blue of that matches that up there, so I'm going to ink this just a tiny bit. Kind of make it look old, and glue that over where the thank you is. So if there's some kind of wording or something on the pattern paper that doesn't fit for you, we'll take some embellishments and just cover that part up. Okay, so like that. The next page is one of the pocket pages, but I'm going to keep it as a pocket, but also make it a flip up. So I've taken this page called, what is that? The Beautiful? I think that's what it is. I can't read upside down. The Beautiful. Okay. Now I want this image kind of centered. So I've looked at it. I've lined this up here where I want my first cut to go. I'm going to save this one here. And then flip this around. And I'm going to cut at 6. Yes. So now we have it 6, this print here, 6 by 12. So I've got that ivy in there. Now I needed 8 inches, but I want to keep this. So I'm cutting it here at 8 from the bottom. But I am not going to glue it down, of course. I want to score it at 4. Now this trimmer here does have a scoring blade, so make sure you're using the lighter one if you have this, or use your scoreboard. Put your 8-inch in at your scoreboard and score at 4. I just didn't want to pull mine out since I have that blade that's there, so I'm going to fold this and burnish. Now then, thinking this is going to make us a flip up right here into this pocket. Let's see how it goes. Okay, like that. Okay, that's a flip up. Now then, I think I want a magnet on it. So let me grab a couple of small magnets. I'll hold it there. I'm going to put a dot of glue. I'll have to cover this with some kind of image thing over there, one of our embellishments. So I'll put glue right there, put my magnet, take that score tape. I told you we might use some score tape. I'm going to cover my magnet up, place this other one on it. First I'm going to get another piece of tape, put the sticky up, facing up. Of course it wants to stick to me, right? The magnet that will touch down. Some glue on the magnet. Bring it down. Attach it down where we want it. And lift up. Whoop. Make sure it sticks. It's not wanting to. I'm going to get a little more glue on it. My tape is not coming down the way I want it to. There it goes. Just reach in there and, oh, it took the wrong one. Okay, so this way isn't working very good for me. Close it back down and let it dry for a second. So then I'm going to decide my paper here. I really like that green. So I've got this already cut. So this is the leftover, which is 4.5 with that border, of course, by 6. Got a little rough edge there I need to clean up. And I need to ink this also. So let me see if this will go in without keeping the border. No, I need to keep the border. Where would 4 fall? 4 inches would probably work. So if you think you might want to keep this border, we can cut this down to 4 and cut the border off. Hang on to that. Got a little bit of it still showing there, but we'll put that down in the pocket. So I'm going to ink this a little bit. I don't have to ink the bottom edge, just the top and the two sides. This is using that same paper that we just made our flap out of. So we're not wasting anything. We're using the same paper. Oh, and I need to put these guys on, my reinforcements. And we're going to put this one down in there. So put the glue on the back. Put this down in there. Line it up at the top. Okay, looks good. Burnish it. It's got little lettering in here. It kind of makes it look a little dirty in there, but that is actually letters printed on the paper, so that's okay. And then I'm going to decide what to do on this one. So this goes inside, and we'll find some kind of cute little thing that we can put in that one. Pick something, just something small, or maybe even like this circle, this clock with the little lamb. That's kind of cute. I'm going to take the backing off. Didn't want to stick earlier. Now it's on there good. Okay, I'm going to ink around the edges some. Just a little bit on it to vintage it up. And then glue on the whole back circle. Let's leave it open on the bottom side in case we want to tuck a photo up under there, huh? So put that right there, just like that. So I left it open here so we could tuck a photo up under there if I want to. So this is going to be free. It's not going to be attached in. It's going to attach in like this and just be held by the magnet like that. So then I need to cover this front side here and then decide what else I want to add on this. And this one needs to be inked. So make sure you don't forget to ink this piece. So now then this guy goes in like this. And if we want to, we may round the corners and then re-ink some, but let's put it in like that. And then I'm going to decide what to put on this underneath side, and then if I want to add any decorating. So hang on. I cut a 6 wide, 4 tall out of the Solids number 3 paper. I'm going to use this kind of green or yellow side. So that's going to go right there. So let me put this in, line it up where it goes. So we can kind of, line this up the same. Let's take this backing off, the magnet tape. Put the glue on the back of our piece. Make sure I'm recording. Okay. Then this will glue down, and I did ink this off camera. So this will glue down right about there. Whoops, I'm always crooked. Okay. Maybe I cut it crooked. Come on, guys. Let's go. That's better. Okay. Burnish that down. So when this flap comes down, burnish really well around your magnet, by the way. When this comes down, you'll still see a little bit of that green down there, and I like that. I was going to piece it, but I didn't like how it looked. So now I didn't need to decide what I want to do to kind of decorate it up. I think maybe a photo mat here, and one that tucks up in there would look cute. and then something up here for this one. So I'm going to pause the camera and I will get that together, and then I'll show you what I did, or what we're going to do. Okay, so I've cut photo mats out of the same 60 pound 12 by 12 that I still have. So these two are 5.5 by 3.5. So for 3 by 5 photos. Got two of those. I inked the edges. I've already punched the photo corners. This scrap, even though it has the branding strip down here in the bottom, I can still use it because I'm going to use the green side. This one I cut at 2.5 by 3.5. So look at your scraps. I inked it, punched the corners. This is a piece left over from cutting this. I cut it down to this size. I love the image, so I wanted to keep that with the yellow flower. This one is 3 by 4. Ink the edges. This is going to glue in up here. And this is a little photo mat that is 2.5 by 3.5, inked and photo punch the corners. So let's do this top part first. Let's take this out. So here above the pocket, I'm going to glue in this print. Just give it a border of about 1/8 of an inch on the left and top side. It's a little decorative border there. I mean a decorative piece on this top part. Using some of our scraps. So this is going to go into the pocket a little bit, but it's going to sit about like that. Push that in. I just like the image of it. And now this pocket is not going to be attached in, so it's still white down in there. That's okay. Now this one goes here, kind of centered between the top of the pocket and the top of the pattern here. So again, glue on just the corners to hold those down, a little bit on the sides, so we can get a photo in there. And I'm just going to center that kinda on all 4 sides. Set in the centers, the corners. Okay, so I love how that looks. Then this here is going to get one of these bigger ones, like that. Same way, just on the corners, dot on the corner, a little bit on the center of the edges here, to the sides, and a little bit in the middle to hold it down. At least that's the way I do it. There might be a better way. I'm going to try to center this right here. Okay, so there's that, like that. Now then, this pocket flap, on the inside, we can put this size again. This. And put that down. I like having the flap. It gives an extra place for photos. Okay. Then of course this little one here just tucks up under this like that, holds that one in place. And then we take this and we insert this in. And you could put one on the back here. I'm not going to put a mat, but you could put another photo back there if you wanted to. And we just close it, hold it in with our magnet. So I like that. I may put some other elements here. I'm going to look at it real quick and decide, kind of give it some more dimension. And then this front page will be done. So let me check some of the elements and I'll be right back. Okay, so I took the 12 by 12 tag page and cut out these tags. I'm still left with these 4 by 6s that I haven't used yet. But these tags I'm going to set apart. This tag was made out of the leftovers from this piece, as well as this tag. And to get the tops of them, I just matched with this and cut them down, and I rounding the bottom corner. So this is the one that's going to go in this one. These I'm going to set aside for other pages. And then I selected this one, orange, to match the other opposite page. It has the same image but smaller, and I have inked it. So this is going to tuck in here to the pocket, so it just fits perfectly. And I decided to, let's see here, I'm going to make like a belly band. So this is that scrap that I told you to keep, the branding strip. So it's already cut, perfect size. I'm just going to put a bit of glue on each short end. So it's just kind of a navy blue with a yellow lace look to it. I did ink on it, by the way. So I'm just going to put it there, burnish that down. So this tag, I want it to go in here, but I want to make sure it stays. So I took this piece here. This is from the ephemera, and I inked it. It's an envelope. So I'm also going to tuck it in. It's a great photo mat on the opposite side. See, I can ink the opposite side too to kind of give it some color. Now, if I want it to be a photo mat, I'm trying to think. Do I punch the corners with the photo punch? No, I think I'll leave it plain. So I'm going to tuck that in there. And then I'm going to try to decide. I think I want this butterfly. So I think I want to center it right about here. So just in the center, I inked this circle. This is from the ephemera, like that. So that one may fall out. I like it there though. So I may need to put something else in there. Let's see. Oh, I was thinking about using this, but I think I'm gonna put this here. Curious, and I did ink it, so it's from the ephemera. Put this up here at the top, Curious. And I love these little kits like this. So I think I'm gonna put them in there onto that tag. I believe these are from the laser cuts. So they're going to go like that. So they'll be on that tag, on that flower like that. And then they're going to poke up like this. Oh, I know what I was going to do. Okay, glad I remembered. Take my craft knife, and because it still can be a photo mat, but I thought it would be cool to cut the envelope from here right along. I'm on my craft mat. Make sure you're on a craft mat to the point when you do this, because you don't want to you know, cut your table. To there, and then kind of just like that. So that cuts that out like that. Kind of make a pocket there. So you could still put a photo back there if you wanted to. I may put a photo mat, a paper mat there on there. So I was going to see about tucking that in like that. Maybe it would stay better. Let's see. Yeah, that's going to work. Okay. So to cover this, we're going to have to make sure we don't glue anything where this goes in. So I need a piece of the pattern paper or something. Let's see what we got. This that is I'm going to cut it about 4 by 3. So I'm going to cut a piece real quick. Okay, so I cut a piece 4 by 3 out of these solids, and that should fit right there. I inked it, and then I punched the corners for the photo mats. So I'm going to be just gluing it in the corners, just like we do the others. a little bit on the side here, but nothing in the middle because I don't want that stuck. I want that tag to come out. So line this up here. Whoop, center it. Kind of get it straightish. Kind of straight. There we go. Okay, so there is a photo mat on the back, but it's also a pocket like this. So if I can ink this inside edge here. Probably should have done that before I glued everything down, but I think I can do it. Okay, so that's going to fit into this little envelope photo mat that we made. Okay, make sure it glues down there on the corners. Now I need to finish this one up. I need to ink the edges of the tag. I did round the corners. And then I need to decide if I want to add anything else to it or just leave it. I think I'll leave this one off for now. So this goes in. Then up here at the top, it needs something. This piece here. That one was cut crooked, but I'm going to sand it off. Pull this in half, take my scissors, cut off a piece of my scrap. I'm going to ink it. Both sides, front and back. Kind of finish it off. And then this one I'm just going to glue to the top edge like this. Front and back. Got the buttons. I was going to put a button, I think, on that one. Now I wasn't going to tie anything in there because it makes it thicker. I'm just going to glue the button on right in the middle of that one. So what do we got that might work? Yeah. I thought maybe there'd be a heart or something. There's a heart. It's yellow though. What about a green heart? I think I got a green heart. Yeah. Okay. Green heart. And get a little bit. Okay, green heart. On this tag, like that. Curious, we got the little kids and the butterfly there. And this sticks down in there. And then this tag comes up like that one. So it can fit offset anywhere from this one. Which is the back side of this one. Just always make sure you've got your orientation going right. So when you do the back side, your hole should be to the right. So I've already added the reinforcers. I cut this piece from the adverts. This is the back side, the floral piece of adverts. Inked the edges at 6 by 8 and glued it down. I've already glued it down. And this was a scrap I had left. So you've got the little advertisements in here and I inked it. So this piece here is cut down to 4, looks like 4 3/8 by about 4. It was a scrap. So I'm just going to glue that in right here at the top. as a decorative piece. So let's get our glue going here. There we go. It's kind of like doing little layouts, I guess you could say, that you would do like used to do for the 12 by 12 scrapbook layouts. So I'm going to put that down. Then I cut this mat out of the leftover scrap of the, I think, number 3 solids. So it's 4.5 by 3.5. And that one's going to go kind of like right here. So go ahead and glue that on. Okay, kind of at an angle like this. Then I cut the mat out of the 60-pound white, and it is 4.25 by 3.25. Punch the photo mat corners, the photo insert corners, and ink the edges. So just glue on the corner piece, corner tips here, a little on the sides to hold it down, a little bit in the middle on that. Okay, so this goes on top of the yellow here. Oops, come on, get it straight. Okay, press it down. Now there's for our photo. Then for decorating this, I'm going to put this green in here. I wanted to pop a green. So I've had this one laying here, so I hadn't used it yet. So I thought, well, I'll go ahead and use it. So make sure we get glue to the tips of this, the leaves. This is the laser cut, so it's kind of, you know, thin here in places. And I'm going to lay it here on this edge like that. And then I inked this one. This was just a little image that is black and white. I'll put a little of the color on it, vintagey colors. So I inked the edges. There we go. And I'm just going to glue that, I think, right in there. So glue on all this. Just have fun with it. Pick out the elements that you like, the ephemera you like. Don't be afraid to layer things on top of each other. Then I have the little yellow flower. That might be kind of cute right in there. It's another laser cut flower. I'll put it here on this side with the flowers. Okay. Then I have the blue tabby here to kind of go with the, I don't know, I thought I had blue somewhere. Oh, the buttons. Okay, I'm going to put this one down here on the bottom where you could put the date. Make sure I'm still in frame here with you guys. Oops, turn it down. I want the tab to go this way. Line it up down there, burnish that on. I also have the little dog piece here. I really love the little dog, and I'm thinking of a certain photo to go there. So this one, I think I am going to use a little bit of foam on one side here, if I can cut it, because I need scissors. Let me get my foam here. This foam tape that I had laying here. So I did not tell you that was a supply, but you can grab some foam dots or stuff. So I've already inked this one up, and I'm going to put it on the left side of the image. So that would be right here. Make sure that foam doesn't stick out. The reason I did that because there's a little bit of a lift coming off that photo edge, but I'm not going to put any glue on that. I'm just going to tuck the little dog here like that, so he's kind of lifted up. Got the little dog, got the little girl there, and I had a saying here I wanted to put at the top. I inked it. It says, "Hold my hand." I think that's cute, so I'm going to put that on there. So we glue that, and it kind of goes here. And then I'm not putting string in these. I picked out 3 buttons. I'm just going to glue these right down the side. 1, the top and bottom one are alike, I think, and the center one's a little bit different. But that's what, go with a variation on this. So that's the buttons that was pulling that blue. Okay. For this one, I took the blue plaid, cut it down 5 by 7, inked it. This photo mats, these are, lost my ruler here. 4.5 by 6.5, and then I punched the corners and glued it on, and then I glued this little love this on the bottom. And so I'm just going to attach this down. This is for a big photo frame, big photo mat for a larger photo. So I'm just gluing the mat down here real quick onto this page with the adverts. So for growing youngsters, and then this right here. It's pretty simple. Keep it pretty flat there for that page, like that one. Okay, so now I'm going to turn it over, and we have the dots here. So I need to decide what to do on this one. So I want this little tag here. It's kind of cute like that. I'm going to ink this one, and then decide what I want to use for my, here I have a tiny, tiny bit of twine left. So I think I'm going to just insert it. Let's do the double fold. I mean the loop. Put the loop in, bring the loop up at the top, and bring the 2 tails in that loop, and then pull it tight. And so then we have that just like that. And we can probably tie a knot here at the top of these 2 tails to kind of finish that. The loop didn't go through right. There we go. We got 2 knots there. I'm just going to trim it just a little bit. That'll let that fray there like that. And then we're going to put this down here as a tuck spot. So I want the glue on the back side, on the left side, and on the bottom only. So when you flip it over, that will be on the right and the bottom. So we put glue on the bottom and on that corner, and then about, oh, not quite halfway yet. Just kind of leave that free there like that. I'm going to just attach that down on that side. And then we can insert a photo mat into there if we want. Let's see what we still have in our white. Nothing big left, so we're going to have to get some more. Another piece of white cardstock to make us a photo mat that tucks in. That one's not quite big enough, so let me grab that. Okay, so I cut this scrap of the blue stars and the orange print down to 4.5 by 6, and then I made the photo mats. Cut 2 that were 4 by 5.5. Did the corners, inked them all, glued them down, so I have front and back. Either side can go behind it, so this could just tuck in behind that little tuck spot there, that little tag. I'm going to use one of the plastic sheets that has the 2, I'm using the 2 4x6s, and then I picked up this paper left over. This is the adverts, and this was already cut down to 6, so I cut it 6 by 8 tall, and then score your 8-inch side with your trimmer, score blade, or your scoreboard at 4 inches so that it folds in half. Then I inked everything already except this top part. I guess I didn't ink it. Let me get it right quick. I think I inked part of it. Okay. So I want the flowers on the outside, so I inked it all. And it's going to slide, it's folded, you fold it in half, and it's going to slide into the bottom of the front side here like this. So you're actually going to get this side and this side too at the same time. So we're working on the bottom part. So let's take this out first, and I cut 3 of these all the same that are 3 3/4 by 5 3/4. Of course, I punched the corners and inked them. So you're going to put one here. Now, if you want to make them smaller so you can see more of your paper, you can. These are kind of made for 4x6 photos. I thought I would make some like that. And again, on all these, you do the corners and just the sides and a little bit in the middle. So I'm going to speed this up real quick and do these. Okay, so now we have those. We have 1 on the back, 2 on the inside. So we slide this in right here like this. So we have it like that. So you have 2 photo mats like this, 1 on the back side also. Okay, so then here on the front flap, I cut yellow from scrap of the yellow, the number 3, I believe it is. And this is 2.5 by 3, the yellow, and then the white is 2 1/4 by 2 3/4. And I'm going to glue it like this for a smaller photo, and then I will decorate. So I did ink this one and glued it all together ahead of time. So if you want to kind of turn it at an angle, I think I am, since I've been doing that on the others. Burnish that in, and then we can then I can pull some decorating, and then we'll make an insert for the top part. Got some glue there. Don't want glue on my plastic. Okay, so I'm going to see what I want to decorate with, and then we'll get that done. Okay, so I took this little banner piece from my ephemera and glued it, inked it and glued it down, and then I've inked this ephemera piece, and I'm going to glue it over the banner so that just some of the blue peeks out from the top and the bottom. This, so let's kind of center it. There we go. Now that I'm going to take a button and put it at the top right there. Glue that on. It will dry clear. Okay, because this is on the outside of the plastic, so that will work fine. And then I have these little from the laser cuts, these children here, so I'm going to put them on. I think they look really cute here on the bottom, kind of like to the side of the pet duck, so we can still read that that's the pet duck. And then we have a flower here, and I'm just going to glue the bottom stem, the bottom edge right here of the flower, and then the stem and the leaves, because the flower is going to stick out over where a photo might go. This right here, got the bottom of that flower and the leaf, so the photo can still go underneath there. I think I'll put a little bit of glue right here on that right side of the flower to secure it. Okay, and this on the inside. So I think that looks really cute like that. Okay, so for the top sleeve, I took one of the 4x6 cut apart cards. This one says, when I tell you I love you, you can believe that it's true. Crosby, Stills, Nash, and Young. So I like that. So I inked the edges, of course. A little more right there. Kind of a a little heavier there on the edge because I really wanted it to have a, like it's blended in pretty good here. Then for the back side, which has already got this print on it, this is a scrap I had laying over here that was 4¼ by 3¼ photo slot punched, ink the edges, and you can offset it or whatever you want to do like that. I think I'm going to do it like that. Then I might put something there on the side. So I'm going to glue that down. Okay, so we get this one here. I'm going to put it up a little ways and over so I can see some of that design there. And I'm going to go ahead and slide it in. So this goes, the card goes to the front, or the pretty side, or whatever you want to call it, just the cut apart verse. But you got to make sure you're getting your photo mat in. So I don't have it hooked there, right there on that corner. I've got to make sure that is dried. Okay. It's going in like this. There we go. Okay, all the way in. I like that. See the blue of that pulls that in. So when I tell you I love you, then you flip it over so you have the two photo mats here. Now I'm going to be decorating it up by gluing onto the outside of the plastic, like here, like that on that one. I like to take, let's see here. This is the Easy Runner Grand. So I'm going to use it in a combination of the glue. There we go. Right in the center. It's really sticky, so there's no chance of them falling off. But I also want a little bit of glue here on the stems, around the edges. And then I'm going to glue this to the outside so it doesn't snag. It's going to be glued there. It will stay pretty good. I have other albums I've done that way. And then you can slide this out and put your photo in, and this can hang over like that. It looks really pretty like that. So I may put some more stuff on there. Flip over this side. We can add something there if you wanted extra, like, I don't know, another butterfly here that's on the outer part. Or a moth. I think that's a moth. Let's see if I can find a butterfly or something. It's a blue flower. No. Let's see what we got on my laser cuts. Here we go. Another blue one. Got that white one. Got a pink butterfly. Yellow flower. Yellow butterfly. It's kind of pretty. Let's see what he does. He can go right there. So put a little bit of this on there to really hold. And then also my glue. Especially on the butterfly's little legs and antenna. I'm going to lay it right up here on this flower. Like that. I think we'll just leave that the way it is for right now. It's still pretty. It's got that on the front. We'll flip this over. We got this yellow flower here. And maybe this orange one down here would be pretty. Kind of matches that up there. It matches the orange behind it. So let's get our tape on here. Some people also like to use that red line tape, which also works, or possibly score tape. I think you could peel that score tape off. And at first I think you could peel off this art glitter glue, but I think on my albums that I've done before, once it dries a few days, it's pretty done on there. Okay, so I like that. So just the simple flowers like that. I don't know if we want another butterfly on anything. This pink one's kind of pretty here. Yeah, let's do the butterfly. Whoops. And I'm going to be stopping for a bit and cleaning up stuff or reorganizing, because after a while I get to where I can't find anything. So I have to kind of reorganize just a little, for at least a little while, and get everything, you know, going. Okay, so there's the butterfly on that. Okay, so I've tidied up just a little bit, kind of got a little more space here, but I started working on this piece here. There's two, comes with the album. And what I did is I did cut about a, let's see, about a 21-inch piece of the yellow seam binding that came in my kit, or in my design team package. And I did tape it down with score tape on the back. So here's the front where it opens up like this to make a tie closure instead of using a magnet. You could use a magnet if you wanted to, if you want this to stay closed. Here on the inside, I did cut from the number 5 solids, this blue here, and I also cut it for a mat over here. But this one here is to fit in here, 3 3/4 wide by 6 tall, and I inked it and glued it on the inside. And then flipped over here to this one. I'm using this piece, and it is called Storybook, Saving the Hearts border. So this is the plaid, and I cut it so that I could get these two pieces out of it. So the plaid back here is 3 7/8 by 6. Inked that, glued that over that ribbon, and so I'm ready for the front here. So this piece here out of the number 5 blue is 3 7/8 by 6. So that one's going to glue on here onto the front. So I'm going to go ahead and do that real quick. I'm using the darker blue side. Either one probably look good with this. So we're just going to get some glue on here. So after I cleaned up my desk, I did a little planning on this one. So that's why you don't see it all on camera, the basic things I did. But I'm showing you this part here because I'm going to show you how I'm going to decorate it. I just want to center this pretty good. Okay, burnish that down. It's a little higher up on the bottom than I would like, but it works fine. Now from the other section of this piece here, opposite of the plaid that we cut here, I wanted this piece here with the little yellow bird, the little boy at the bird bath. This piece of doily here I think is really pretty. This one I inked already also, and it measures 3 3/4 by 5 3/4. And so that should fit in there, kind of give a blue mat around it. I think that's really pretty. Kind of set that off a little bit. So we'll glue this down, and then we're going to put some decorating things on it to fancy it up a little bit, I guess you would say. Kind of personalize it. So let's center this. pretty good. Okay, burnish that down. It's such a pretty little image going on here. So what I've picked out here is this from the laser cuts. I think this flower is really pretty. I know it's bigger than what the scene is, but this is kind of like in front. So I'm going to put glue on all of this. Make sure we get the tips of it glued and the little skinny pieces, because we want it to make sure it lays down, because that ribbon's going to come around and we don't want it snagging. So especially on the ends of these little tiny skinny pieces here. So probably a difficult choice to put under that, but I think I can do it. I'm going to hold this on the side here like this. Get me some glue going. And the leaves and stems. Okay. So now I'm going to position that kind of like that, a little bit onto the bird bath, a little bit here. Make sure I'm pressing it down. This gives a little dimension, but it's still flat. And then I have these the blue flowers. And I thought this one was pretty here. So I'm going to glue it on. I just love the flowers that come on the laser cuts from 49 Market with their collections. They're just so dainty and so pretty to really jazz up a project here. So we got this one like that. And then this other smaller one. See how I want it. Maybe right in there. Okay. Really delicate little pieces here that they laser cut out. Put this one in like this. There we go. See how pretty that is like that. And then I thought, well, let's do some buttons. Kind of weight this down a little bit. So we've got this bigger one here. I think it's really pretty. And these are the granny buttons from Country Craft Creations that you can get in an assortment of colors to really, use on several different projects. You get a lot of buttons in a package. If you can see here, I still have a lot left. I will have some left over. So I'm doing a trio of different buttons here, kind of on the corner with this. Now then, I'm going to let these dry. I'm going to go ahead and tie this. On the inside here, I'll probably put a photo mat. I think I'm going to leave the back side plain for right now. I'm not sure. On this. Now, these I cut at an angle, and I did put some glue on the end to try to keep it from fraying. Normally I tie a knot, but I don't want a lot of thickness, so I'm going to see how that works. So let's tie this here. Okay. And there we go. Kind of tied it upside down, but I never get my bows tied quite right. I know there's a certain way to do it to make your tails come down instead of over, but we're going to do it this way. Try. Okay, there it goes. Maybe that works. Okay, so there we go. There's the bow on that one. So I'm going to go ahead and let this dry, and then I will put it in the book. So I'm going to pull the next one that I want to do, which is probably another full one. And I did go ahead on all these, so I didn't do them on camera, and put the reinforcers on. So we have this one next, and we'll work on that one. Okay, so I forgot. I want to put a mat on here and decorate this back side. So this was a scrap that I had left, just laying on the table. It's 3 1/4 by 4 1/4, thereabouts. Of course, punched my corners. I'm going to glue this one down I almost forgot this back side that I did want to decorate it. All right, quick. Okay, so let's put that on here. I left a little space down at the bottom because I'm going to ink, and I forgot to ink the photo mat, but it's okay. Maybe I can get a little bit on it. That's the beauty of using a brush like this. You can get a little bit on there. So I'm going to ink this circle, this clock piece from the ephemera with the doggy on it and a yellow heart. And then a label tab. I think that would be good to have at the top. You could write the name or the date or the picture. So this is going to go at the top. I'll put it kind of like that. Then this, I'm going to make sure I'm only gluing the bottom part because I want to be able to tuck the photo underneath, just like that. And then I'm going to put the heart over here on the left side, kind of opposite of that tab. Kind of balance that out a little bit, just like that. So there is the back of this one. So I've got these buttons here and these flowers here underneath this bow, like that. I have not added photo mat on the inside. You can do that if you want to. Okay, so we're ready to work on the next page. So we're working on a solid page here. So this is the front side. So we have the holes here on the left. And I cut a piece out of the blue. And I've already forgotten what number. That is, maybe I can find it here in my scraps. I think it's solid number 5. Number 5 is the blue. And so this is a 6x8, and it's going to go right here. I'm going to make this real simple. I've already inked it, so we can just get right to it. I'm going to use the lighter blue side on this one. So I'm putting down my glue. These types of albums, there's really not much construction to it. It's just a matter of deciding what papers you want to use and how many photo mats you want, and then the little decorative pieces. So it's really something that's really probably quick and easy to do. I just have to think sometimes, what am I going to do on this next page, or what would look best together? So anyway, on this one, I decided to do some small photos. So I cut 4 that are, I think they're 2.5 wide by 3 tall, all 4 the same. Punched the corners and inked around the edges. So these are going to go 2 on top, 2 on the bottom. So I'm going to go ahead and put the top ones on. So again, just in the corners, a little bit on the side, the glue, and in the center. We don't want to put any glue around where those little corner things are. So I've come down about 1/4 of an inch from the top and 1/4 inch from the side. I'm going to do the same on the other side. So get my glue going. It has been, the past few weeks, really cold here in Texas for us. And so this week we're kind of excited. This is the end of the week. We're moving into what we call fall spring. So it's going to get up to the 70s, upper 70s on a couple of days. So we'll have sunshine like we're normally used to. We do like the rain though when it rains. Let me see, did that one get crooked? That one does look crooked, doesn't it? It's probably already attached down. I don't know why I didn't pay attention, better attention. Make sure they're not crooked. There, that's better. Got glue on this one already, so let's get this one down. About the same distance here. And then the last one. Then I'm going to decorate the middle. And then I'm going to go to scraps to do that. So whatever scraps you still have on your table. I haven't used all the prints yet. I'm trying to use what I've already used pretty much to kind of conserve a little bit. Make sure that's not crooked. There we go. So I took this scrap, this plaid, and I'm going to put this, it's 6 inches, almost 6 inches wide. It's a little short, so it's okay. It was already cut that size, so I'm going to go with it even though it's a little shorter. Just a tiny bit on the sides here will be okay. It's just kind of a hairline on each side. Put that in the center. And then I have a strip of this with the stars. I started to use the orange, but then I decided I wanted the stars. So whichever side you want. This is a scrap too. So this one's about 1 inch wide by 6, and this one's about 1/2 inch or 5/8 by 6. And then I took 2 of the little dogs from the laser cuts, and I'm just going to glue them down on the center like this, like looking up at the photos, and that decorates that up really cute like that. So I don't know if I have any phrases I want to use in this or not. Let's see here. My whole world. I don't want to cover that up. I'm going to use that, and I'm going to trim it down to fit. Second here. I was going to use it somewhere else, so I've already got it inked up. So I'm just going to take my scissors and right across the end where the letters are. Just trim that off and ink it, the ends. And then I'm going to glue that here to the right. So just a little title. My whole world, like that. That looks cute like that. So that is that side of this page. So I'll flip it over and we'll start working on the back side. So make sure your holes are here to the right. So for the back side of this one, I took the 112 by 12 of the one called Airplanes, and I cut it in half up and down like this. So it does cut off part of that one little girl, but I'm going to use it on the next page. 6 by 8. So this is what we have here. I'm going to glue this right here. I inked the edges. So this one's really easy to put down, put together. 6 by 8. And I'm going to stick this down. Now this would be a good place to put a waterfall. Now I cut a regular mat here like this, but I'm wondering if I want to do waterfall. I can save this for another page, so let me think here. So we'll burnish this one down good. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this pocket page here, the opposite side. Let me move some of my stuff around, and I'm going to make it a continuation sort of this one. So this pocket here is going to get this piece, which is 6. The section is 6 by 4. Let's do 3 7/8. I'm going to cut it 3 and see what that looks like. 3 7/8. Right there. 3 7/8. So we'll ink that. That's going to be a continuation of this print here. Pocket, so that's going to go right here. could have cut it just 1/8, maybe bigger, but I think that's going to work. I'm going to ink this edge here. It's white in here. I do like to ink the pages. For this particular album, you don't have to do it for all of them. It's up to you. Okay, so there we got that. Now then, this part in here. Or the rest of this. Let's see here. This one will work and we won't have to cut. Okay, so ink this piece right quick. And I'll give you the measurements just a second here. It's just left over what was cut from that. So 6 wide by about 4 tall. So that's going to glue right in there. Of course, we're going to pull out some tags and things to stick in it. And I'm still debating on a waterfall over here for this other side. So let me get this one lined up. Okay, that looks good. That's a continuation of that side of the page. So we've got that going on. That looks really cute like that. You could always put a photo mat here. Didn't want to cover up that airplane, but so I might want a different size photo. Trim this down. So this was, it's going to be 3.5 tall. Let's make it 3.5 by 3.5. So I'm going to cut off one edge like this. Re-punch the corners. Ink that one edge again. And this is going to go right here on top of this pocket. So glue on the corners and the edges. And just like that. Okay, so there's that one. Tags that we have. Now I like these little cut aparts. Like this one here is like a little of the page of a book. So I would ink this. This is from the ephemera. It's got the rounded corners. And you could add a photo on the back. So that can just tuck in like that. Kind of hang out very far. And I do have tags, so don't despair. We have, oh, I have this one with the yellow plane. This one I like. I'm going to round the corners. See if this is too tall. Let's see if we need to cut it. No, it'll work perfect. Okay, I'm just going to round the corners and then ink it. And of course I will need to decide what I want to do for the top. One of the others I just added a button, and I like that. Just adding a button is quick and easy and adds a lot to the look, I think. So like that one goes in there like that. So let's find a button here. Here. So I'm going to glue on the back of the button and attach it down right over that brown tape looking piece, just like that. So it's real simple, but it's decorative. Of course, we've got more I can add in there. I've got another tag here. I have this one that I made That one's pretty. So I need to do something to the top of that one. Let's see what we've got in here. Adored. Okay, I like that. So let's do the inking. This was made out of a scrap of paper. I used the angle punch when I'm going around the corners. Then we've got this one. We're going to ink. It says Adored. Little banner. So I'm going to just glue the top of it over where that little hole came out. Probably put another button over that. Whoop. Push it so it's straight. And in the center, there we go. Smaller button, I think. Just going to put the glue right there and pop that on. Okay, so there's another tag in there, and then a photo mat could stick up underneath that Adored if you wanted it to, but that's a little shorter one. Okay, so let me decide on this waterfall, and we'll do that next. Okay, so for the waterfall, I decided to make it out of pattern paper. So I did find 3 scraps that I could cut down to 4 3/4 wide by 4 tall, and I'm going to score the 4-inch side on all 3 of those at a 1/2 inch. 1/2 inch there. I'm doing the top side of the print that I want on the front, 1/2 inch. Make sure it's a print on the back that it doesn't really matter. It's not that, it might be a little dimensional, directional, not dimensional, but directional. But that's okay. Like these are kind of upside down, but they're small enough print that that's okay. So I've got 3 of these. They'll end up being the 4 3/4 by 3 1/2 tall once they're folded up. Okay, burnish those really well. Then I had this one little scrap. Maybe you have one too. This one is 3 1/4 wide by a little over 4 tall, and I'm going to score the top edge of it at a 1/2 inch as well. And I know it's a different size than this. Hold that and burnish. But sometimes in a waterfall, it's okay to have one that's a little offset or a little different. So it's just on this side. So let's put it together and see how it looks. See if we like that. We do need to ink it, so I haven't done that. So let me ink really quick the folds and the edges. Now you can round the corners. I think on these I am not. I'm going to leave them square. So this one's going to go down first, but I need to make sure I position her exactly where I want this because it's a different size than this one. So her hinge is going to go along the pattern paper that's on the page. This one's going to go like this. I'm just going to lay this one down as a guide so that I know to put her about right there. So I'm going to glue her down. Just the 1/2 inch. I'll make sure this one's laying here so that I can see where it goes. Position it so that this edge here and the fold goes along the top of this printed paper. Right there and right there. And I'm going to double check it. See if she's the right width. Okay, looks like it. So I'm going to burnish her down. I'm going to lift this up and burnish. Now this one's going to go right here. And so you're going to see we have a gap right there, and that's okay. It's just a different look. It's done with patterned paper, so all that is good. I'm going to turn this so I can see it better. And we're going to line this up right up against the fold of this one to the cut edge of this first one we put down and to the edge of the page over here. And burnish and lift up. Do the next one. Same thing, line them up. Okay, and the final one. Adverts. So all of mine were cut from scraps. Just like that. So there is your waterfall on that page. Now then, we may not like the way it comes down over them. Let's see, would it have been better to have not have this one over their faces? Let's see here. Still would have been into their faces with the third one. So I didn't think about that. But when we lift up, we see them. When it goes down, they're underneath. But I think that's going to be okay. We'll make that okay. So yeah, I'm going to just kind of leave it like that. It probably needs a closure piece. I'm trying to think on what I might want for that. I didn't plan on using any ribbons, so I'm going to look at my tags and things, and then I'll decide on something like on a closure piece for this. Okay, so we're going to do what I call a tuck type closure. And we're going to take a little bit of twine here, and we're going to tie it in this tag here. So it goes in like that, bring it up, and cut it off. So maybe I can tie it in a bow. Let's see here, trying to conserve some of my twine. So we pull this, and I'm going to tie this. It's kind of going to be a little short-tailed here, but that's okay. I'm going to glue it to make sure it stays tied, though. Okay, typical glue on that. Okay. So this is going to glue down onto, and I did ink it. It's going to glue down onto our top flap about right there. Okay. So this hangs off. I know this is white back here. You could leave that for some journaling or something, or you can put another piece of paper there. This is going to tuck in to this piece here. So it doesn't hold it completely flat, but good enough. So I want the glue kind of here on the sides just a little bit, but right across the bottom. And then I'm going to push this down, and I'm going to put that right there. Under where it says Bumble, with a bumble, with a bumblebee. Okay, like that. Make sure that dries down. Then I'm going to take a button on this one. And we're going to finish that one off, maybe with a small button. Right here. There's one. Do we want to button up on this one? Maybe a heavier button. That might help hold it down some. Get a little weight in there. So I'm going to glue this button, this good size one, on. Right over that. So I've got some of the bows sticking out. We're going to let those dry. So that is a little waterfall like that. And I'm okay now with the kids being covered up a little bit because they are down here too. And then when you lift the whole thing. Now if you wanted to, you could add photo mats on these, the white photo mats. I don't know if I'm going to. I haven't decided. So for now I'm going to leave them that way. So we have that page like this on this side. And then we have this side here. Of course, when I flipped it, it came unhooked here. Maybe I don't have it up enough. I hope I do. Yep, she's going to flip some on me. So I think it needed to be up a little higher. May have to put something else up there to tuck it under. Nope. Tickets. I did think about using tickets. I'm going to ink these. I've got a different one there. I've got a big one like that. Do I like the green or the... I like the green. Ink these guys. So if you didn't want the double things, you might want to make your banner piece come up higher. What I'm going to do is glue this on the bottom, on the side, and I'm going to stick it onto the top of just the banner. Trying to kind of extend it some, hopefully, so that it will actually have more to hold this down, hopefully. Yeah, I think that'll work better. Okay, so like I said, this page, there's this one. We have this with the pocket, so now we just need to do this back side. So for the back side of this page, just flip it to make sure your holes are on the right. And I have taken this sheet, which is called, see if I can find the branding strip. Okay, so it's called Clippings. So it's got the brown plaid and the little flash cards here. So this piece here is cut down to 6 by 8, and it's going to fit right there. But before we do that, I took the other half and cut this one down to 5.5 by 8.5. Took my scoreboard, scored the 8.5 inch side at a 1/2 inch, like that. We're going to make a flap on this one. Now this one, the other flap was on a plastic page, and this one is going to be on a regular page like this. Now, I do want to notch punch this one on the bottom, so I'm going to center it. Okay. And we're going to ink where that notch is, and all along the bottom. Because this will be the part that's going to face up. These little flash cards along the curve here. And then we've got this piece that goes down underneath it. So I'm inking it. This one is going to go centered between the edge and these support pieces. So I'll put ink not ink, put glue. Glue on the tab here. On the top edge, we're going to line it up about like that. Over a little more. I want it about the same from here to here to here to here. You know, the outer edges. There we go. That looks, yeah, that looks about right. That's better. Burnish that. And then over the top of this plaid piece is going to go. Right there. So I'm going to glue this one down. I've already inked it. Okay, and we're going to burnish it down. So then we have that. Of course, it looks the same, but it's pretty lined up pretty good. And then this comes down over it. So even though it's offset, it still just brings it all together. So now we can add in some decorative stuff, some photo mats, and things like that. So I'm going to pull all that together, see what I want to do on that, and then we'll work on the next section. But I'm gonna cut and plan, and then I'll show you what I'm doing. Okay, so for the front of this one, I'm going to take this larger script writing alphabet from the ephemera, and I ink the edges, and I'm going to make a pocket out of it, except I'm not going to glue this side. I'm going to glue this straight side over here, right there, and a little bit on the bottom. Maybe just up a little bit on that corner, just a tad. And I'm going to kind of bring it down as far as I can towards the notch and do it like this. Okay. Then I'm making a tag. Now this was out of a scrap of this yellow that I had. And this one measures 3.5 by 6 3/4, angle punched. Use the angle punch on the corners, rounded these, and inked it. So I'm using the yellow side. And then I cut this out of a scrap of this same paper here. I've got the pet hen, the pet cat, the pet duck, and the dog. And I'm going to put that down here like a pocket. So I'm just going to glue the two sides and across the bottom. I'm going to come up a little ways. I don't want it real deep. I want something that maybe shorter sticks in there. So I'm going to put that right there. Okay, we got that. Then for the topper on this, I thought I would use this scrap of this peach colored, which is about 1.25 inches by 4, and I folded it in half. I glued one of the ephemera tickets on it, this little 5-cent ticket and the heart, and then I tied the twine bow around it. But I'm going to glue it here at the top, so it's on the back side and on the front like that. So all this glue goes on this, and the fold goes right along the cut edge of the top of the tag, kind of like that. Excuse me. And then something to stick in it. Let's see here. That's a little tall. There, that one. I'm going to go with the shorter one here, like that. And we can just ink the edges of this one. Go in like that, and I need a little bit of something on it. I'm going to use a little button right there on the tag. I don't want just around the edges of the tag. I don't want the that's funny. My watch said loud environment. I paused the video because I had to sneeze. Okay, so let that dry. And that's going to tuck in there like that. And then find a piece of paper, scrap something. Right there. Pet duck. That's a scrap. It's about 3 inches by 1 3/4. I'm just going to fold it in half like a little booklet. Burnish that down and ink it. Just use scraps to make decorative things to tuck into stuff if you have to. See which side you like better. So this is going to go this way. And then we'll find maybe some little something we can stick on here. Hold me. Sweet dreams. Okay. I'm going to cut the little curve of this piece off so that it fits. Ink it up. It says Sweet Dreams. I'm going to put that right there. Tuck that in that little pocket like that. So you can add more stuff like that. Then that's going to go in there. So all that stuff doesn't show except, maybe I want to switch it out. Different tag. Just my curious. I like that one there. This is a long one. Nope. I may have to make a different tag. I like this one, but I also want it to be seen, so, maybe this will work. Stick this out like that. So the opposite side, I switched it around like that. Okay, so you can see it there. Flip this around. But this is kind of too long, so we're going to trim off this one about an inch of it off. A little more, about 1.25 inches around it. Those corners back up in the bottom and then tuck that one in, so that works like that. And then this one I made add that button to it, so then that one goes in there like that. So we have that like that. So I like that page. Now this flips up, so I have room for photo mats in there, so I'll add some in there with the corners, with the photo corners punched. And so that will finish that page up. So I'll show you those as soon as I get them done. Okay, so before I move on from this page, I did do more inking here on this script alphabet piece. And then I pulled out these little flashcards and inked them. So I'm going to glue these around on the front, kind of bring out the images that are on the background that you can't see because of the pocket there that's been attached. So this one is Yellow House. So I'm going to put it like this. And then the red airplane. Now I'm going to put this just on the left or the right back side, which would be the left front. Kind of let it stick over a little bit. And then the one that says first. I think I can put glue on the whole thing there. First right here. And then the little house goes there. Not the little house, the little tree. Sorry. Okay, it says green trees. Okay. I put photo mats on the inside of this page section under the flaps, so I just use different size scraps. So go ahead and look at your scraps of your 60-pound weight artisan white cardstock and cut you some photo mats and glue those in as you need them. And then I added a little saying and then a couple of the little tabs, to one at the top and one at the bottom. I have all my papers, my 6x8s that I cut down, glued to my pages. Everything's inked. So for this one, I decided to take a piece of the lightweight cardstock and cut it down to, I think this is 60 pounds. So cut it down to 5 inches by 3.5. Score it in half on the 5-inch side. So now I have a 2.5 by 3.5 photo mats, like a little booklet, and then I punched through. It was a little tough. I punched through the double thickness and got it like this. Now I'm going to take some of the yellow ribbon here, and I'm going to, on the back side of this, so actually you're going to be able to put 1, 2, 3 photos in, because I'm sacrificing this one right here on the back, and I'm going to add the ribbon. I'm going to make a tie closure. Just like we did on the other page earlier, and then bring this around like this. So this will tie here on the front. Try to do it to the side, maybe, kind of like that. See if I have enough ribbon left here. If I cut it enough, if not, I'll have to move it some. Okay, so I don't want real long tails. That one up there always wants to turn on me. Can never tie a bow good in a hurry. Nothing good can be done in a hurry, I don't think. Okay. Okay, so that one will work like that. Now I'm going to trim this one a little bit. I have this one I'm going to trim down because it's already starting to ravel. Get that glue on there to maybe stop that raveling. I haven't gone back and checked the others to see if this is working well or not. Normally it does, because what it does is it glues that ribbon enough to keep those threads from coming loose. So that's going to be like that. So then this is going to glue right in here, and so you can just untie it. So the glue is going to go on this corners here. So I want to be able to still get that photo in there. So it's the same thing. Just be careful, you know, you don't glue your where the corners are, where the photo goes in. So I'm just going to position this right about there, I think, on that page. So it's got tied down. And then I'm going to take some flowers. I've got these from the laser cuts. I'm going to bring in a little bit of a yellow flower here. And then this pink one. Kind of like that. And I had a little bit more green in here. I think I'm going to lay in there. So I decorated this one up pretty quick. Added mats for 3 photos. So this goes in like that. Okay, so there's that page there. I'm going to do the little envelope maybe. I really like the little lambs down here like that. Now that does need a little inking in on the envelope here. Just a tiny bit and around the frame. So what do we want to do with this? So I have this one here. This should be another 2.5 by 3.5. I'm going to punch the corners again. So I'm going to glue this down like I normally do in the corners, across the top and the edges. I'm going to put it down about right here. And then this is going to just attach over it on the bottom so that you can kind of still get down into there and attach a photo. So this is just going to be like a tuck spot right like that. Okay, I like that. So we can still get in there to that one. And then I'm going to put maybe a couple of small ones there at the top. Okay, so these are each 2.5 by 2.5. Punch the corners and ink them. Just kind of angled, attached them down, and then added that little piece in there like that. Now this one here, until we have a photo, I don't know. I was trying to decide if I wanted to add anything in there. Probably not that. Unless I just put a piece of another paper in there like a scrap. Just something to give it a little pop of color maybe. Or like a little tag. Let me rummage around and see what I've got, and then I'll come back. Okay, so I took this scrap. It was about 3 7/8 long by 2 inches wide. I rounded the 2 bottom corners, and then I put it into this punch that I have and made me a tag. And then I took this scrap that's about 3 inches long and 5/8 wide, folded it in half, and I'm just going to put that right there, and I think I'm going to just staple it. So I inked it, and I'm just centering it over where the hole is of the tag. Kind of get it straight here. I'm just going to staple it like that, and then see if it's holes. I'm going to put a little glue under there to make sure it stays where I want it to. The staple's kind of decorative from both sides. Put some glue in there. Whoops. A little more than I wanted. Okay, so now we have that. So that's going to stick in there like this, just that tag. And I'm going to take a button. That's too big. Kind of like put a button right there. To give it a little pop of color there. So for our next pages, I went ahead and did them off camera because they're of course, just gluing the papers down and then figuring out what size mat you want. I'll go over it with you and adding some decorative elements. So let me grab a ruler here. So for the next page here, the one that had the dog and cat print, I put 2 photo mats. This one up here is 3.5 by 3.5. This one is 3 by 4. Punch the corners, ink them, and then I just glued the little cat laser cuts, one on the bottom of each one, and I left them open a little bit at the top so that we can slide our picture under. Then we flip this over, and on this side I decided to go with a bigger mat, so I put one down that is 4.25, yeah, 4.25 by 5.25. Punched the corners, inked it. I added this little banner here, inked it, and just added that little button. So it's really quick, really simple, but it is a decorative page. I have the cut aparts and photo mats added into this page, this plastic protector page. It's a little hard to show you with the glare, but anyway, I've got these different elements that I punched out of the laser cuts that I want to put on. And like I said earlier, I used a little bit of the runner from this Easy Grand runner that I got from Country Craft Creations, because it's pretty sticky and it holds pretty good. And then I add also the art glitter glue to this to stick it down onto the plastic, because I'm putting these on the outside, because if you put them on the inside elements, it would probably hang as you're pulling them in and out. So I'm going to put the butterfly right there. And then this flower here I'm going to put on this other section here. Put my sticky on. Make sure it folded under if it sticks out over the edge. So I'm getting it on the flower. And then I can't really put it on the stem or anything, the leaves, so I'm just using the glue for that. Okay, lift it up, and this one I'm going to put here, kind of partly on that other one as well. And then down here I have these flowers. Put it right here. Now if you didn't want to put anything there, you could journal something there if you wanted to. And then I thought I'd put these little airplanes up here on the top, like the children are looking at the airplanes. And again, these are all the laser cuts that I had. Just make sure they're going the right direction. Make sure the little wheels are down, not upside down. Of course, the plane could be upside down if it's doing aerobatics. Okay, like that. Now I'm going to let that dry. Let me hold it up so you can see it without the glare. So that's what that looks like, and then I'll add something once this dries to the other side. But I've already added my photo mats, and I'll give you the measurements of those in just a bit. Okay, on this side I'm going to put a little butterfly at the top here. About right there. And then this cluster of flowers. I'm going to work on this particular flap, and I'm going to do it the same way I did the other one with the flap on the front. And I have cut down some seam binding ribbon in the green this time. And let me measure it real quick. That's 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. I did about 27. So I'm here on the back side. I'm going to take my tape, score tape, and about in the center, like that. I'm going to attach down the ribbon. Okay. Bring it around. Let's see how it, because I can pull it up to adjust it. So I'm going to go ahead and tie it and see how it looks. About right here. Of course, it's not a perfect bow, but that's the way this is going to go. So that looks pretty good. I did angle cut like that. I want it where it's not sticking out. So, and then I did take the glue because I don't want this raveling, and I'm just going to put glue, art glitter glue, along the edge of the ribbon here, and kind of, whoops, tap it in to try to seal some of that off so it doesn't ravel. Fray check does the same thing. I don't know why I don't like fray check very well. It's kind of, the last time I used it, I thought it was kind of oily looking. Just, I think this glue works just as well, so why spend extra money, right? Okay, so then we can let that like that. So this one I'm going to flip over and do the back side real quick. So I had this piece of orange left from the solid colors from scraps. This one is 3 3/4 by 6. So I'm going to do the darker orange here on the back, like that. So I'm going to glue that down. Okay, and put it right here. Okay, kind of even. Burnish it. Make sure it sticks down over the ribbon and everything. And secure. Then let's flip it back around. So now I'm going to untie this. I have this here on the front. This time I'm just going to do this plaid. I had this scrap left over, and again it is the this one's a little wider. It's 3 7/8 by 6, I think. Yeah, 6. So I want that to go right there on the front, like that. And it's the back side of this little piece here. So it was a scrap. So this one goes here. Okay, and then I have one for the inside, which is the same as the one on the back. It's what did I say? 3 3/4 by 6. So this is going to go here on this side, and then again this one here I'm going to leave blank. A good place for journaling or other photos. I'm not putting a photo mat or anything on there. So I'm going to glue this one, and all these were inked, by the way. Okay, so this goes here. Okay, so that's finished there. Don't think I did anything on that one on the inside, did I? No. Okay, so I'm just going to leave this plain here. This is going to close up. This is going to tie. And then we can add some decorating onto it, if we want. We can leave it for a photo. The other one was decorative, had an image, so we didn't add any photo mats on that. It always turns in, so I want it to straighten up. That's why I normally go ahead and crinkle my ribbon, so it doesn't matter if they're not very even or not. So there we go. Okay, so I'm going to decide what I want to put on this one, and then we'll decorate that up. Okay, so first up for this back side, I cut a photo mat that is 3 1/4 by 4 1/4. Ink the edges, punch the photo mat corners, and that's going to go on the back side right here. Okay, center it top to bottom there, so make sure it's straight. Okay, got that on there. Now then, I took this Elements card. It was like this one. It was one long piece, and I cut it into 3 pieces. I'm not using the bottom one. I'm using the top one and the middle one. I'm going to trim this one down just a little more. And what I did is I re-rounded the corners with the smallest corner punch here. Just making a little decorative piece for this. So I've got a boy and a girl. Inking the edges. So she's going to go up here and he's going to go on the bottom. Now then, I'm just going to put glue on the bottom edge here of the boy. Right here, like a tuck spot type thing. Just that one edge, and I'm going to put it way down as close as I can to the bottom edge. Right there, just a tiny bit showing. And then the girl, I put the glue on the very top edge. And then put that one way up here at the top. Like that. So now I can still get the photo in underneath it. So I'll keep this one straight though. Just burnish that on. So that's how that one's decorated. Kind of simple, but I like it like that. And then of course I'll do something here on this side. For this side, I took that remaining image and repunched the 4 corners, and I'm going to glue it down on the bottom as a tuck spot. Right about here. Kind of center it. I love the green in this image. It goes with the ribbon. That's just a perfect match. Then I took a scrap of this paper here that I had. It was with these little airplanes. And I cut it to just a 1/16 of an inch bigger than this photo mat, which is 3.5 by 4.5. Of course, again, punched the corners, inked everything, and that's just going to be a loose photo mat that tucks in to that tuck spot back there with that page there, and then the other is going to be left plain on the inside. So there's that one. So the next one here, I went with these little photo mats because I wanted to see this little image here and the doily. So this one has a mat that's 2.5 by 3 and 2.5 by 3, but I turned it the other way. I added the butterfly laser cut, a flower laser cut, and this one little tab from the ephemera for that page. And then when I flip it over, this one is going to mirror the next one. So this photo mat on the left side is 4 by 5. Of course, you can make your mats any size you want or whatever scraps you have. I punched the corners and inked it. And then this one over here is 4.5 by, looks like 5. Is that 5.5? Yeah, 5.5. So punched them and inked. And then what I did is I took those little element pieces, ephemera pieces, the little black and white, and I inked them, and I glued one here and one here. So that is the kind of a mirrored with that patterned paper. And then this, the back side of this one, I did 3 photo mats. Top one is 4 by 2 3/4. And I think these are all 2.5 by 2.5, these two. And then I, of course, punched the corners, inked them, and I added some of the green wreath, ivy type laser cuts, a leaf from the laser cut that I had laying here on my desk, one of the blue flowers on top of that, the children running, just to kind of give it a kind of a different look. And then the butterfly here, a little tab from the ephemera, and the charmer, a banner from the ephemera, and added a button. So that's our pages. So all of these can go in the album now. So for the front inside cover, we're going to make double pocket out of patterned paper, and I just had over here on my desk, I had, these were both 12 wide, and I cut them down to 9 inches wide, and this one just happened to be already cut. It was a leftover. It's about 4 inches, just under 4 inches. It's 3 7/8, and this one with that border, because I like that border, I'm going to leave that on there, is 4.5. So we're going to put the 9-inch at the top, and we're going to score at 1/2. And you can make your pockets any height that you want. This is about the right size, and at 8.5 on each side. I'm not scoring the bottom. 1/2 inch and 8.5. Okay, so we have those done. So let's go ahead and put the scoreboard out of the way. And make the pockets. So I'm going to go ahead and fold these in. This is folded under the piece that you want to be your outer part of your pocket. Just like that. And of course I want this image, so I'm folding it under on this one. And here. Now then, I don't want this to be a deep pocket, I don't think. Do I have some more of those tags left? Let me look, because if we do, we'll want to use those. Got quite a mess of papers here, but we have these different cut aparts. That would work for something. Maybe. So I'm just looking through what we've got here. That could become tags. Here's some cut aparts here. Those are my laser cuts. I was wondering if I had any of those long tags left. I think there's one right there. Okay, thought maybe I had one. And we got these things here. Okay, push that out of the way. So if I make the pocket long enough for this tag, then I don't touch the bottom. I leave it open. I'm just playing around right now to see how I might want this. I may just use this for something else. I think I'm going to seal the bottom of both pockets because I like the short things in there. Okay, bring your book over, and we do need to quickly ink our pocket pieces. And then we also need to decide, are we going to punch them? We have pockets that we did not punch, or do we? We had that punched. We have this other pockets that we left straight. We're just going to leave them straight. So I'm going to ink all the edges, even the fold and the bottom. Though this bottom one won't show, but inking it anyway. And I like that border on there. So you see it doesn't go all the way across, and that's what I wanted. And I'm going to bring it up a little bit. So I'm going to take my glue. I'm going to put glue on my 1/2 inch tabs. And across the bottom. Seal the pocket up. And we're going to push it down, centered from this fold to this edge of the book, about 1/4 inch on each side, and put it down straight here at the bottom. I'm going to burnish that down. Then this pocket is going to go here. Oops, it is too tall. So we're going to cut off some of this one. We're going to make it a little shorter. So grab my trimmer. So whereas this one is full size 4.5, I trim this one here. I want this little image pretty good. I'm going to trim this down to 3.5 so far. See how that looks. Still too tall. A little more off. So about, bring it down another 1/2 inch. I'm going to put it at 3 here. Okay, that's what I'm going to leave it at 3 tall. I'm going to re-ink that edge there. Okay, so this is going to sit right at the top of this one. So we're going to put the glue on our 1/2 inch tabs here. And then along the bottom, make sure it is the bottom. You don't want it upside down, where the pocket goes. And then I'm going to line it up here with this one. Just like that, and burnish. Make sure it stays down. Okay, just like that. Now then, our different things we have to tuck in here. We can put that in there. It's an envelope. It does need inked, so you can put a, it's from the ephemera, but you could put a photo on the back or some journaling. So I'm going to ink the back side of it as well to finish it off. So that tucks in like that at the top. Actually, whoops. Okay, and we have some cut aparts. We have different pieces of paper that can become mats or tags if you want. You can, you know, from your scraps. You can round the corners if you wanted to. You could leave them solid like that. That one kind of sticks out too far. Just turn them sideways like that and fill in that piece there. I think I'll use that one. So I'm going to cut these. This one is a 4 by 6. So that could go in there, or, oh, that's kind of cute like that. Kind of decorate that up. I'm going to, do I want to do the corners a certain way, or just ink it and add it on? I'm just going to ink it. So you can use your journaling cards as part of your decorating if you want, just like this. If you like it, just put it on. So this one I kind of like right there. Center it and put glue on it. And we could actually make it into a pocket too if we wanted to. Let's punch a notch in it. So I'm going to center that one. Just to show that it is a pocket. Ink that. Okay. Drop it down towards the stitching some. So glue on just 3 sides, 2 short sides, and the bottom edge across from the notch. I'm going to center that right about there. So you could journal on that if you wanted to. Okay, now then we can put maybe some cards in there. Extra photo mats if you had any. Ink these little guys. So that can go in there like that. Did I use all of those or not already? Let's see, which ones have I used and which ones have I not? I love that waterfall page there. So I use that one. Let me Kids Running. I've already used that one. I may set that aside for now. I don't think I used that one with the blue. Where did I put that other page? Okay, I'm talking to myself. Sorry about that. It's the littlest things. I already took that one out. And that one is the Kids Running. Okay. Where's that other page at? You get these in here and you forget where you put them all. I know I have one more plastic sleeved. Oh, there it is, page. So it's those and the doggy. Wonder and the Children. So I've got those. Got that one in there. But I don't have the airplane and the lamps. So that's the ones I'm going to put in my pocket. I kind of like to just use them once and then save the others for a different project if I can. So let me cut these guys and then we'll ink them and put them in the pockets. Okay. Put that one, whoops, upside down. Explore the world. And the little lambs are so cute. Those. And this one I'm going to fold in half. I like to do that with the 4x6 sometimes. Just line them up, press it in the center, and fold it. Now this is that thicker paper, so it does give a little bit of crack in there, but that's okay. I just kind of weather it up, junk it up, age it up, make it more vintage. I'm okay with that. It's a good place for photos. I'll tuck that in there as well. And I don't have anything in this middle pocket. This is a pretty scrap. Ink it up. I love that polka dot. I'm going to stick that right there. That's cute there. What else have we got? We've still got this one tag here. It's just a little bit too long for that, but you know what? We can trim a little bit off. Let's trim about 1 inch off. We're not going to lose hardly anything. I'm going to round the corner on the bottom. I'm going to ink it up. We've got both sides here. We've got the lamb and then this the pretty print. I love the lamb, so I'm probably going to use that side. And then, of course, this tab up here, I'm going to put the button. Quick way to finish that tag off. And that one will go in that second pocket, like that. So we have a lot of stuff in here in the pockets. I'm not going to use that one. I'll use it for something else. This was a pretty good one. I'm going to ink it. So don't be afraid to go to your scraps to get inserts for your pockets. They make great journaling tools, places to journal, even if it's just part of an image is left, that's part of a flower there. I'm fine with that. It's pretty, and I'm going to stick that in there like that. Now then, oh, I've got this card here I wanted to use. So ink that one too. That one can go in there as well up here at the top. Okay, now then, do we want to add anything to any of these tags, like these different pieces I've got? Like we've got this little banner here. So like if I fold it in half, like that, and just ink it and glue it on, you instantly turn this scrap of or this cut apart, it's not scrap, it's a cut apart, but turn it into like a tag. So I put glue on both halves. I'm going to put the banner piece towards the front. I'm going to make it short here. I don't want it covering the lamb up. So kind of put it right above his head and push that together. Where's that? Burnish it. Now if you want a button on that one, we can. So that one tucks in there. Or we had it here. Okay. It doesn't matter, either one. So you can add to each one if you want to, or you can just leave them plain. These that are the paper, like you could take a ticket. You can add a ticket, perhaps a couple of them here at the top. Kind of finish that off. Kind of arrange them there and there. The other one like that. Big button here. Put a big button on that one. Stick it on and let it dry. Okay, I think that's all for there. My laser cuts. What have I got? Anything left that I like really well? We've got the kids. I think we're just going to save these guys. Pretty flower. How does it look on that blue? That would be blue on blue. I like that. I'm going to fill that in. You could keep it for journaling, like I said earlier, but I'm just going to fill it in with the flower. I like my flowers. I like my laser cuts. Okay. Just like that. Okay, I think that finishes it off. So I'm going to clean everything off. Oh, I do need to decide. I do think we want a ribbon tie closure. And I'm thinking I'm going to use the green. I have plenty of it left. I have about, there's 21, 22. Almost 44 inches. So I'm going to cut it in half, kind of make it even here, cut it in half, and use one for the front, one on the back, and I am going to crinkle them up. I'm just going to use a little bit of spritz water in my hand. I love to crinkle up my seam binding ribbon, and I've already done it in the album in places where I've used it. I did that off camera. If you look at it now, you'll see that where I have ribbon ties, I have inked them, I mean not inked them, I have crinkled them right here and here. So it's okay if it gets smushed and crinkled. It's fine that way. I like that. I think that might be a little odd there like that. I think I'm going to move this one around. So you can adjust everything the way you want to. So I'm going to switch this one like this. For now, I may move them all over the place. Who knows? So for now, let's get our ribbon closure on, and that will be the final thing to make in this album. And here's our ribbon crinkled up. We'll let it dry for just a bit, and I'm going to go find me some eyelets. On another album I did, these are really, really thick chipboard. So the eyelets didn't go through real well, but I do like to have them a finished look. So I'm going to see if I can find some longer ones. If not, I'll use what I've got. And I'll be right back to finish that. Okay, so I've added on my ribbon tie closure right here on the side. What I did is at 4.5, I marked me a spot on each side about 1/8 of an inch from the edge. Used my hole puncher, my crocodile, punched a large hole on each side, and then used a silver eyelet and set that in on each side using the tool here on the crocodile. So if you don't have one of these are great tools to have. Then I tied the 2 pieces of ribbon into that. Each piece was about 22 inches long, and I spritzed it up, wrinkled them up, and got them ready for this, and then tied it closed. So the album is finished. I want to thank you all for following along on this tutorial. I will clean up everything and do a separate walkthrough video of this fun album that is created with the 49 and Markets foundation binder. This is the coral color. I will link it down below, and it comes with all the pages that I used in this album. I did decorate it with the 49 and Markets 12 by 12 Toddler Time Collection, one of the sets of laser cuts, and a set of the ephemera, and these granny buttons from Country Craft Creations, some of the twine, and the seam binding in the a little bit of the yellow and in the green from Country Craft Creations. So if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. Click the bell so you'll be reminded of my next video. You'll receive a notification. Give me a thumbs up, leave a comment, and as always, shop at countrycraftcreations.com. I have linked everything I used in this tutorial down below with my affiliate link. So if you purchase any of this collection, I will get a little kickback commission from the sale. It does not cost you anything extra. It's just something, a reward that I get for referring you to Country Craft Creations, and it helps me to buy some more supplies and tools so that I can keep doing free tutorial videos for Country Craft Creations. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. It's a little bit different. It's really fun to decorate these pages and get an album done really quick so that you can get your pictures in it. So again, thank you, and be sure to check out the walkthrough if you haven't already watched it, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye.